Ladies and gentlemen, when life gets tough and you feel like giving up, it is often in those moments that we find our true strength. It is during the darkest times that we must remember that we have the power to rise, to keep pushing forward, and to overcome the obstacles that seem impossible. This speech is a reminder to never give up, even when the world tells us to. Life can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. There are days when it feels like everything is against you, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear. It is in these moments of struggle that the desire to give up can creep in. We all have been there at some point, feeling exhausted, defeated, like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But it is exactly in these moments when we have to remember something incredibly important. The most challenging moments hold the greatest potential for growth. The hardest challenges are often the ones that shape us the most. They test our resilience, our strength, and our determination. When everything is going wrong and it feels like giving up would be the easiest option, that is when you need to remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Think about all the reasons you pushed yourself to get here, to start this journey, and to fight through the struggle. Those reasons, no matter how big or small, are your anchor, your reminder that you are capable of overcoming what lies ahead. When things feel like they're falling apart, remember that they might actually be falling into place. There is a lesson in every struggle, whether you realize it in the moment or not. These struggles are shaping you into someone stronger, more resilient, and more capable. The greatest stories of success are often filled with moments of failure and defeat. These moments don't define you, rather they refine you. One of the most powerful things you can do when faced with challenges is to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, start viewing them as opportunities for growth. Every time you overcome a challenge, no matter how small, you are building strength. You are learning to adapt, to be patient, and to keep going, even when it feels impossible. The truth is, no one gets through life without facing difficulties. We all have moments when we question whether it's worth it, when we wonder if we're strong enough to keep going. But those moments don't last forever. They are temporary, and they will pass. What matters is how you respond to them. Do you let them break you, or do you rise above them? The choice is yours, and it's a choice that can change everything. As you face challenges, don't be afraid to lean on others for support. Sometimes the best thing you can do is ask for help, whether it's from friends, family, or mentors. We don't have to face everything on our own. There is strength in vulnerability, and sometimes opening up about our struggles allows us to heal and gain perspective. Remember, it's okay to not have all the answers and to not always be strong. We all have our moments of weakness, but it's in those moments that we have the potential to grow the most. When you feel like giving up, pause for a moment, take a deep breath and look around you. Reflect on how far you've already come. Think about all the obstacles you've already overcome, and how much strength you've gained through them. You've already proven to yourself that you are capable of more than you think. You are stronger than you realize, and you have the resilience to keep going. Even when it feels impossible, keep moving forward. It's in the persistence that you'll find your power. Remember, growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from pushing through the discomfort, from stepping outside of your comfort zone, and from continuing to move forward, even when it seems like the world is pushing against you. The most beautiful transformations happen when we embrace the struggle, and trust that even though we can't see it right now, there is a purpose to everything we go through. You are not defined by your struggles. You are defined by how you rise from them. So the next time you feel like giving up, remind yourself that the greatest breakthroughs come after the toughest battles. And in those battles you are not alone. You have within you everything you need to face whatever comes your way. Keep going, because the best version of you is just around the corner. When we think of strength, we often imagine someone who is physically powerful, someone who can lift heavy weights or run a marathon. But true strength is not just about physical ability. It is about how we respond to the challenges life throws at us. It is about how we find the courage to keep going when things get tough, even when we feel like we have nothing left to give. Strength is built through struggle, not comfort. Comfort can feel good in the moment. It's easy to stay in a place where everything feels safe and predictable, but growth never happens in a place of comfort. Think about the times when you achieved something significant in your life. Chances are it was never in a situation where everything was easy. It was in those times when you had to push yourself beyond your limits, when you had to fight against doubt and fear, when you had to step into the unknown and take risks. It is in these moments of discomfort that we discover the depth of our strength. When things get hard, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, that is when we are given the opportunity to grow. The human spirit is incredibly resilient, and it thrives when tested. Think about a muscle in the body. In order to grow stronger, it has to be challenged, has to be pushed beyond its usual capacity. When we face difficulty, it is like the muscle being stretched. It may hurt in the moment, but when the process is over, we are left stronger than before. This is true for our mental and emotional strength as well. Life's challenges are like weights that force us to become stronger in our minds and hearts. The more we endure, the more we learn about ourselves. We discover what we are made of. Every time we face a challenge and choose to persevere, we build a little more strength, a little more resilience, a little more courage. It is through these struggles that we learn to cope with adversity, to stay calm when everything around us seems to be falling apart, and to keep moving forward, even when we feel like we can't take another step. But strength does not just come from enduring pain or hardship. It also comes from learning how to handle setbacks. Setbacks are a part of life. No one gets through this world without facing moments of failure, disappointment, or rejection. These are the moments when we can either allow ourselves to be defeated, or we can choose to rise again. Strength is not about avoiding failure. It's about knowing that failure is not the end. It's simply a stepping stone towards something greater. Every failure, every rejection, and every setback is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow. It's easy to feel discouraged when we face setbacks. We start to doubt ourselves, our abilities, and our worth. But these moments are not signs of weakness. They are signs of our humanity. They remind us that we are living, breathing beings who are constantly learning and evolving. The key is not to let setbacks define us, but to see them as lessons. When we face a setback, we have the choice to either let it break us or to use it as fuel for our next move. Strength is built through learning how to turn adversity into opportunity. Another important aspect of strength is patience. Strength is not just about being tough in the moment. It's also about having the patience to wait for the results of your efforts. Growth takes time, and many of the things that are worth achieving do not happen overnight. We live in a world that often values instant results, but real strength comes from the ability to stay committed to the long journey, even when the end seems far away. Patience allows us to trust the process, to believe that the hard work we are putting in today will pay off in the future. Strength also comes from a place of vulnerability. It is easy to think of strength as something rigid and unbreakable, but true strength is flexible. It is the ability to remain open and vulnerable, to acknowledge our fears and weaknesses, and to ask for help when we need it. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a source of strength. It allows us to connect with others, to share our struggles, and to learn from their experiences. It reminds us that we do not have to face our challenges alone. True strength comes from within, from the choices we make, and the way we choose to face life's difficulties. It is built through struggle, through pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones, through learning from our setbacks, and through remaining patient in the face of adversity. It is through these experiences that we become stronger, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Strength is not something that is given to us. It is something we cultivate and build over time, through the struggles and challenges we face. So when life gets tough, remember that your strength is not something that can be taken away. It is something that you already have inside you waiting to be unleashed. Believing in yourself, even when no one else does, is one of the most powerful and transformative actions you can take in your life. In a world where validation often comes from external sources, whether it's from family, friends, colleagues, or society, it can be easy to place our worth in the hands of others. However, the key to achieving true success and happiness lies in recognizing that the most important voice you need to listen to is your own. At times we may find ourselves surrounded by doubt, whether it's self-doubt or the doubt that others may cast upon us. It's normal to seek reassurance from others when we are facing challenges or uncertain paths. However, if we only seek validation from external sources, we risk giving away our personal power and confidence. The truth is, you are the only one who can truly know your potential, and you are the only one who can decide what you are capable of achieving. When you believe in yourself, you stop waiting for others to validate your dreams, and you begin to take full ownership of your journey. There will always be people who doubt you, question your abilities, or tell you that your dreams are too big. They may not understand your vision or may be too consumed by their own limitations to see the possibilities in yours. This can be disheartening, especially if it comes from people whose opinions you value. But it is important to remember that their doubts are not a reflection of your capabilities. They are simply a reflection of their own beliefs and experience. Their doubts do not define you unless you allow them to. Believing in yourself means trusting your own judgment, even when it feels risky. It means having faith in your ability to navigate the unknown, despite the uncertainty that may surround you. There are countless stories of people who defied the odds, broke barriers, and accomplished the impossible, because they believed in themselves, even when the world was telling them it couldn't be done. The stories of famous entrepreneurs, athletes, inventors, and leaders all share a common thread. They were told no, they were doubted, but they kept going anyway because they believed in their vision. Believing in yourself also means embracing your flaws and imperfection. It's easy to focus on what we perceive as our weaknesses or shortcomings, especially when we compare ourselves to others. But true self-belief comes from accepting who we are, flaws and all. We all have unique strengths and weaknesses, and these do not make us less worthy or capable. In fact, it is through acknowledging and embracing our imperfections that we find the courage to move forward. We stop striving for perfection and instead focus on progress and growth. Believing in yourself means giving yourself the grace to grow, make mistakes, and learn from them, without letting fear or self-criticism hold you back. Self-belief also requires resilience, the ability to keep going even when things don't go according to plan. There will be times when you face failure, disappointment, and setbacks. These moments can shake your confidence and make you question whether it's worth it to continue. However, believing in yourself means understanding that failure is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey. Every failure carries with it a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and try again. The most successful people in the world are those who have failed multiple times, but have used those failures to fuel their determination to keep going. When you believe in yourself, you stop letting the opinions and judgments of others control your actions. Instead of waiting for permission to chase your dreams, you take the initiative to go after them. You set your own standards and measure your success by your own definition, not by what others think success looks like. This independence and self-reliance are empowering, as they allow you to make decisions that align with your values and aspirations, rather than being influenced by external pressures or expectations. Believing in yourself also helps you build resilience in the face of criticism or rejection. Everyone will face moments when they are told no, or when their ideas or efforts are not recognized. It's easy to internalize these rejections and allow them to diminish your confidence. However, when you truly believe in yourself, you understand that rejection is simply part of the process. It's not a reflection of your worth or potential. It's just a moment in time that doesn't define who you are. Rejection is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. Ultimately, believing in yourself is not about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about trusting in your ability to handle whatever comes your way and believing that you have the power to create the life you want. It's about developing the inner strength to keep going even when the world may seem against you. When you believe in yourself, you become unstoppable because you no longer wait for others to approve of your dreams. You chase them with unwavering confidence, knowing that you are capable of achieving. Celebrating small wins is often underestimated, but it is one of the most important habits to develop on the journey to success. We tend to focus so much on the big picture that we overlook the smaller achievements along the way. Whether it's completing a task, hitting a milestone, or simply making progress in a difficult situation, celebrating these small wins is essential to building momentum and maintaining motivation. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory that deserves to be acknowledged. One of the reasons why celebrating small wins is so important is because it helps us stay motivated, especially when the bigger goals seem far away. It's easy to become discouraged when we feel like the end result is out of reach. The larger goals we set for ourselves can sometimes feel overwhelming, and the road to achieving them can seem endless. In these moments, recognizing the smaller wins allows us to take a step back and appreciate how far we've come. It reminds us that progress is being made, even if it doesn't always feel that way. By celebrating these wins, we reinforce the idea that every effort counts, no matter how small it may seem. When we focus on the small victories, we create a positive feedback loop. Each win, no matter how minor, provides us with a sense of accomplishment and pride. This feeling of accomplishment boosts our confidence and strengthens our belief in our abilities. It motivates us to keep going, knowing that we are capable of making progress and achieving our goals. The more we celebrate these small successes, the more we realize that progress is not just about the end result, but about the journey itself. It's the accumulation of these little wins that eventually leads to the larger achievements we are working toward. Celebrating small wins also helps to shift our mindset from a place of scarcity to one of abundance. When we focus only on what we haven't yet accomplished, it's easy to fall into a negative mindset. We start to feel like we're not doing enough, that our efforts are insufficient, or that we are falling behind. However, when we take the time to celebrate our small victories, we start to see that we are actually making significant progress. We begin to recognize that every small step counts, and that success is built one win at a time. This shift in mindset helps us to appreciate the process rather than solely focusing on the end goal. Moreover, celebrating small wins can help us build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and there will be times when things don't go as planned. In those moments of struggle, it can be difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel. However, by acknowledging the small wins along the way, we are reminded that we are capable of overcoming obstacles. Each small victory is a testament to our strength and determination. When we face setbacks or challenges, these small wins serve as reminders of our ability to persevere and keep going, no matter what. Another reason why celebrating small wins is so important is that it helps us to stay grounded and focused on what really matters. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of larger goals and forget to appreciate the present moment. By celebrating the small successes, we are forced to slow down and acknowledge our efforts in the here and now. It keeps us focused on the process rather than becoming fixated on the destination. This mindfulness not only helps us stay motivated, but it also allows us to enjoy the journey and appreciate the progress we've made, rather than constantly striving for more. Furthermore, celebrating small wins can have a positive impact on our well-being. Recognizing our achievements, no matter how small, helps to boost our self-esteem and mental health. When we feel good about what we've accomplished, we are more likely to feel positive and energized. This sense of accomplishment can have a ripple effect, influencing other areas of our lives and helping us to maintain a sense of balance and happiness. It's a simple but effective way to maintain a positive outlook, even during times of stress or difficulty. In the grand scheme of things, success is not just about achieving the big, flashy goals. It's about the small, consistent steps we take every day to get closer to where we want to be. Every small win is a piece of the puzzle that eventually leads to the bigger picture. By celebrating these moments, we not only acknowledge our progress, but we also create a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that fuels us to keep moving forward. It's the small wins that make the bigger ones possible, and it's by appreciating them that we truly honor the journey. Every setback in life is not a signal of defeat, but rather an opportunity in disguise. Often when we face challenges or when things do not go as planned, we feel discouraged. It is natural to feel disappointed, to wonder if we will ever succeed, or if all the effort we've put in has been for nothing. However, if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we begin to realize that every setback is simply a setup for a greater comeback. The road to success is rarely a straight line. It is filled with twists, turns, bumps, and obstacles that test our resolve. Many people give up when they face these challenges because they view setbacks as insurmountable walls. But if we learn to look at setbacks differently, we can begin to appreciate them for what they really are, stepping stones that lead us to bigger and better things. Setbacks often force us to reevaluate our approach, to question our methods, and to dig deeper within ourselves for solutions. Sometimes we become too comfortable in our routines, believing that we've figured it all out. But life has a way of reminding us that growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. The greatest opportunities for growth arise when we encounter failure or struggle. These moments challenge us to adapt, to think creatively, and to find new ways to move forward. In fact, many of the most successful people in the world have faced tremendous setbacks. It is not their victories that make them remarkable, but their ability to rise after each fall. Take the example of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before finally inventing the light bulb. He didn't see his failures as reasons to quit. Instead, he saw them as experiments that were bringing him closer to the solution. When asked about his many failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset of seeing setbacks as valuable lessons instead of insurmountable roadblocks is what sets successful people apart. Every setback is a lesson, a chance to learn something new. When things don't go according to plan, it forces us to reflect on what went wrong and how we can do better next time. This reflection is critical because it helps us refine our approach, improve our skills, and become more resilient in the face of future challenges. Setbacks provide us with the opportunity to grow in ways that success alone cannot. They build our character, our patience, and our perseverance. One of the most important things to remember when facing setbacks is that they do not define us. A setback does not mean that we are incapable or unworthy. It simply means that something did not go as planned. This does not diminish our worth or our potential. In fact, setbacks are often the very things that push us to reach our full potential. They give us the opportunity to prove to ourselves what we are truly capable of. When we view setbacks as setups for comebacks, we start to approach challenges with a different mindset. Instead of being discouraged by obstacles, we begin to see them as opportunities for improvement. We shift from seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance to seeing ourselves as active participants in our own success stories. This shift in perspective is incredibly powerful. It enables us to take control of our reactions and responses to life's challenges, empowering us to take the necessary steps to bounce back stronger than before. The truth is that we all have the strength to bounce back from setbacks. It may not be easy, and it may take time, but the ability to persevere